you like, it's exactly about that, and like having other people's opinions around you. It's like, if you're asking your mom if you should start a business and they've never started a business, you
Yeah,
shouldn't be asking them,
you should never ask
because
them. Yeah,
they don't know the struggles. They don't
yeah,
know that they can do it. They just think, no, it's going to be
yeah.
too hard. It's too much time out of your
But they've
hands.
never done it. That's yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you want to start a business, you go ask somebody that has started a business.
Exactly. Yeah. You never take opinions of people that have never done
Yeah,
it.
because
I don't
that's
care who it
dumb.
is. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So for me, like, if I'm asking somebody's opinion, I know that they've done it, or they're like super smart about a certain thing.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
literally, some people, when people tell me things, I'm in my head, I'm like, do I think that you're credible or no? And if I don't
Yeah.
think you're credible, I'm just not going to listen to you.
Yeah. It's common sense, right? You don't go to your
Mm,
doctor for spiritual issues, right? You don't go
but
to
some
your
people don't have common sense. That's the thing. Common sense is not common. It's only common to
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is, most people are like, well, yeah. If you take away the emotion part, it's the emotion part, right? Or just be practical about it. You realize these things, but I know a lot of us, when we make decisions, our
Are
emotions go into it.
emotional. Yes.
Right. So that's why we go to our family members, to be practical. Like, okay, my mom had never done that. Logically, I shouldn't ask her, take the emotions out of it. I know that's my mom, but she doesn't know it. I need to go
Yeah.
to find somebody else. So, yeah. So if you listen to this, yeah, make sure you guys take the right advice. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of people do, if you listen to our podcast, if you listen to a lot of successful people, one of the biggest advice they always say is make sure you get the right advice from the right people. So yeah, because you have to understand, one decision can change your life. So you get the wrong advice from somebody in the wrong place, wrong situation, that can change your whole life. So that's why it's
Seriously.
so important to make sure you get the right advice from the right people. So, since we're talking about advice, what kind of have you ever asked advice from somebody and they gave you some bad advice, and this was coming from somebody that you knew, you saw it out, but now I should have never asked advice from that person.
I can't. Let me think. I feel like no, but
Yeah.
I don't know, because honestly, I'm very picky about who I talk to about certain things.
Okay.
Um, so I feel like no, because like the all my friends right now, like we were talking about this weekend. Your network is your net worth, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
people, I've been so big on who you hang out with shows a reflection of who you are. So every time I'm with my friends group, like any friend group, the topic of our conversation isn't about people, isn't about like anything, but it's about how can we level up.
All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the KAVA Club Podcast, where we have healthy conversations, experiences, applied knowledge, and we share stories to promote happiness, love, success for all you guys out there, improve the quality of your life. You guys already know my name is Will. I'm the host of this show. If you guys watching, tuning in for the very first time, thank you much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And everybody out there that been watching, been subscribing, thank you so much for all the love, the subscriptions, and all the positive feedback. Much love, you guys. Keeps me going, inspiration. Keep doing what I do. But yeah, I'm excited today, y'all. I am excited today. We have a very special guest. We have a very special guest. She's here on today. I loved her vibes on social media, contacted her, and I'm very blessed and very grateful to have her in our presence today. She's one of our Filipino sisters. She's out here in LA doing the thing. She's killing the game out here doing the thing. She's a health and fitness coach. I just want to say directly to her, thank you so much. Very grateful for this opportunity. I'm excited to have her on the show and share her story for you guys, and you guys get a chance to listen to her today. But I allow her to introduce herself real quick. It is all you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, my name is Crystal. I am Filipino and I am from Sacramento. I'm 26. I have my own online coaching business that I started last year. And yeah, that is
All
just a
right.
little bit of me.
Nice. Just a little about everybody excited to get more.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. I'm excited as well. And I guess we'll get the podcast started. So I know a lot of people that watch my podcast don't know who you are. So can you give a quick synopsis of your life story, your background, and how did you grow up?
Perfect. So I grew up in a Filipino household. Funny story. I've lived in the same house since I moved out 2016, so I was probably like 22. I've been
Mm-hmm.
in the same house since I was 22. I never moved in my life. Never ever moved. And being in a Filipino household and being a female and being the oldest child, it was a
Okay.
little rough because like being a girl, I think in any culture is just
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
My parents were always super strict on me. But when I was younger, being first generation, that's what really impacted me the most, I feel like, because my parents immigrated here. My whole family immigrated here.
Yeah.
And that to me really impacted my life because you see them struggle, you see them do so many things, and you're just like, dang, how can I give back?
Mm-hmm.
So when even since I was young, I was like, I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna do something to help other people. Like,
Yep.
I
Yep.
don't want to be stuck in the same ways that they were, where I have to like work so hard just to get what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah,
Yeah.
no.
You wanted that freedom, financial freedom, right?
Yes,
Security.
seriously. Financial freedom was like the biggest thing for me because it's like when I first started working when I was 18, that was the first time I ever had a real job.
Mm-hmm.
18. My first 2 paychecks went to literally things I wanted. Like I shared when I was younger, I always shared a computer with my brother and my sister. I have 2
Yeah.
younger siblings. And I really wanted my own. We didn't even have a MacBook. We only had a Dell. Like, Dells are super cheap.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
really wanted a MacBook so bad. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna save my money and do it. I was able to do that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna save my money and buy myself a nice watch. Those were like the first few things I bought. I
Yeah.
did it. So having financial freedom was like the biggest thing for me, and just being able to give back as well. And just like even for me, another big thing is just giving back to like the Filipino culture and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have an assistant and he's in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Like being able to have an employee, I'm about to have another employee too, have multiple employees and give people an opportunity, make money. That's a big thing to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was to me, that was the biggest thing that impacted me. Just like my family in general, like you see them work so hard. So you want to do that and more.
Yeah.
And really just build not just a future for yourself, but leave a legacy behind you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can definitely feel that vibe from you when I was on your page. Oh yeah, this girl knows what she wants. She's trying to make things. She's trying to make things happen.
Yes. That's one thing about me. Everybody knows, like, if I say something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't care how long it takes me. It's gonna happen. It might take me years, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I do want to ask you real quick because I know you mentioned about growing up as a girl in the Filipino culture, and yeah, a lot of people that watch us, they don't really know a lot about the Filipinos or the culture of Filipinos. So can you give can you explain to everybody what it's like growing up in the Filipino culture, and also what it's like being a girl and the responsibilities that's automatically placed on you as a girl, as a Filipino girl?
Perfect. So Filipino culture. First thing, Filipinos are always late. But in general, Filipino culture, like they're very super family oriented.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, all I would really hang out with, not all, everybody I hang out with was just my family.
Yeah.
Like if you were to catch me somewhere, I'm at my cousin's house, I'm at my aunt's house. Like we're a very close knit group. We do our family gatherings really big. Like we do. I know some people just celebrate Christmas, but we do like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We do a whole big party.
Oh yeah, the karaoke, right?
Yes, karaoke is a big thing too. I don't sing though. I wish I was one of those Filipino people that could sing and dance, but it's not me.
Did you at least try?
Can't do it. I did, but I did in high school. I did pool and Tahitian, and that was about it. But yeah, so Filipinos are big on singing and dancing and just performing, but also playing basketball. That's another big thing. So when I was growing up, I did play basketball. What else? Food is a big thing in our culture. I feel like food is something that we always connect with family. And one thing about Filipino people, like Filipino grandmas, they will always ask you, "Are you hungry?" Even when you're not hungry, and just put food on your plate, right?
Yeah.
But what else?
Yeah, I do want to ask you because I know as you're explaining about Filipino culture, I feel like a lot of I'm sure you can relate to this, but a lot of cultures are similar. You know, it may be a little bit different depending on the traditions and your ethnicity, but I feel like it's similar. So I'm Polynesian, and in the Polynesian culture, you know, men and women have different roles. You know, traditional roles. So I would want to ask you, does Filipino culture have traditional roles for women and what they expect out of you? And I want to ask because I feel like a lot of what you're doing today is not the path of most women in general, but also I can safe to assume that not many Filipino women are doing what you're doing, trying to be an entrepreneur, having your own business. I want to ask you, growing up, what were the expectations for you growing up? What did they want you to do? Your parents' expectations, or what everybody wanted you to do, but then you decided to go down and kind of break that and kind of forge your own destiny and your own path.
Oh goodness. Oh yeah. So honestly, Filipino women are supposed to be very obedient.
Yeah.
I'm not like that towards my parents at all. They know I'm the wild child, apparently. I'm the crazy one, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I just feel like when I was growing up, I was just so restricted. Like, even though I could hang out with my friends, I wasn't allowed to do certain things, like, you know, no boys, can't go out.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first turned 16, I literally got my license right then and there because I was like, I need to get out of this house.
Yeah.
It's not that I hate like being home, but it's just like when you're just so enclosed in a bubble, you have to get out. Like, I wasn't able to do a lot of things. I didn't really have money growing up, you know, like my parents never really gave me like money. Oh, go hang out with your friends. No.
Yeah.
I literally used to save my lunch money just to go get McDonald's. That was that. And it's like, you know, you're supposed to, gender roles, women are supposed to cook, clean.
Yeah.
Really just be that
the housewife.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't you.
I mean, I'm a great cook. I ain't gonna lie. I clean the house. I could do all that stuff. But I also want to do other things in my life. Like Filipino women, especially medical field. You're supposed to be a nurse.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Nurse.
Yeah. My mom was just so like, you have to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, to me, when somebody tells me to do something, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm not gonna listen to you. So for me, after like 18, I was just like, okay, maybe I'll go into the medical field, but I'm not gonna be a nurse.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be a nurse. So that's why I ended up doing my BS in kinesiology, because more, even though it's like in sports and like body movement, I can do a lot more things. So I actually do want to go back to school because I have my BS. I want to get my doctorate in physical therapy and open up my own clinic. But my mom, even right now, because I told her I need to make this online business running before I go back to school, and she's just like, no, you need to get your doctorate. You need to get your doctorate. I'm like, you don't know what I'm trying to build before I get there.
Yeah.
So it's like college and just going back to school is like a really big thing to them, because my sister in the Philippines told me that if you don't go to school, you basically don't have a good life.
Yeah.
So that's why Filipino culture is just like so you pushing with college and just being a doctor, because they only believe that's the only way to make it out in life.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you want to be rich, real estate, stocks, have your own business, investments.
Yeah. Assets.
Yeah. So that's also what I'm dabbling into too. Okay. But that's what they also don't teach you growing up. They don't teach you how to build credit. They don't teach you. I didn't know about a Roth IRA until I had other friends tell me about it.
Yep.
I didn't know about stocks until I had somebody else tell me about it. And I'm like, okay, let me understand how to make my money work for me instead of me work for my money.
Yeah. I know that's something, whenever you see people that are trying to elevate their life, find, and be successful, they always come from like very difficult backgrounds, right? It's that hardship, that experience that we go through that kind of like gives us that mindset. Like you said, you were very restricted, and then you didn't like that feeling, and that kind of gave you kind of formed that identity within yourself that you want something more out of life. And also for everybody out there, that's something I always hear within all cultures, within a lot of kids, especially kids that come from very traditional cultured families, especially if your mom and dad immigrated from a different country, from a third world country. That's always the conversation, right? Why don't my parents, understand that I want to do something else, and they always want to push me towards school. And I always have to explain to them, our parents, especially if you come from a third world country, in third world countries, education is the only way to make it out.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that that's how they grew up. And then, but in America, education is not the only way out because there's so much opportunities here. Honestly, like a lot of entrepreneurs, they didn't even go to college or they didn't even finish college, and they're still able to make things happen. So I want to ask you is, what was like the biggest experience in your life that you feel like they had a big impact to your growth, and you finally realized, okay, this is who I am? Because I know you talked about like, okay, my parents wanted me to go to school, so I feel like there's a part of you that you still want to. Because my personal opinion, the only person that can tell you what to do with your life is yourself. That's just me.
Yeah.
Like you can't let anybody tell you how to live your life, even from your parents. You can take guidance. You get guidance from the right people. That's always good to have an open mind to learn from the experiences from other people who've lived life already, so you kind of avoid those obstacles. But it doesn't matter what path you choose, there's always going to be obstacles and struggles. But that's why it's so important to make sure that it's your life that you want to live, right? So which part of your life do you feel like, you know what, are you still listening to your parents' expectations and you still trying to fulfill what they want? Or have you got to a point right now, look, I'm just going to do what I do, and I don't care what people say. I don't care what my parents say. I don't, respectfully. But have you got to that point, or you're still trying to like please them and please yourself? You're trying to find that balance. But I feel like the only way you can fully know your full potential, to me personally, is my opinion, is just like do what you really want to do, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks.
To be honest, like I do listen to my parents to an extent, but I feel like ever since I was like 16, 17, 18, I just like still did what I wanted. Like I'm going to listen to you to an extent, but I know who I am and I know what I want to do in my life.
Okay.
So I'm just going to keep doing it.
Okay.
But last year when I did start my online business and like had my business coach and was actually really successful, that was my big turning point of, I'm not going to tell my mom. I'm not going to I told her anyways, but I was like, I'm going to just keep doing this until I just can't anymore.
Yeah.
And then I realized I can, like, when I grew a lot from January to March, just on like my following and just my influence, I was just like, I could really do this.
Yeah.
So whenever my mom would call me and be like, go back to school, I'd be like, okay, bye. I'm still going to work on my business.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, even right now, I'm at home in SAC right now.
Yeah.
My dad told me that, my mom told me that, and I'm just like, I hear you, but I'm not going to listen to you. So
yeah,
I'm going to take my own course.
I want to ask you, so right now, like, I know you said you want to complete school. So I'm just interested to hear your standpoint. Like, are you completing school right now?
Currently?
Yeah, just school right now currently, right? You trying to go back? Are you trying to go back, right? Are you trying to go back because you want to go back? Or are you trying to go back because a part of you still wants to keep your parents happy?
Oh no, it's because I want to go back.
Okay.
It would make them happy. It would make them so happy.
Yeah.
My brother is also getting his doctorate in physical therapy. My nephew, he's only like 4 years younger than me, also wants to get his doctorate in physical therapy. So, and my sister is going to be an MD.
Yeah.
So I have created a funnel in my head how I want this to go.
Yeah.
Of how we can get patients and clients and all that stuff. And I've always wanted to open like a physical therapy clinic that has a little gym setting so I can also take clients in there. So that's my idea for myself. Because I know that because I can do this business already, my online business, I know I can thrive in another one and in another one and in another one. So that is my take.
Yeah, I want to ask you, I feel like, because I grew up, I'm Polynesian. I grew up like similar to you. I come from a very traditional family, traditional views. They wanted me to become a doctor, want to go to college, get a doctor, get a PhD. That was my goal, my parents' dream. But I totally, like you, I was a crazy one. I veered off. I veered off from that traditional path. But I feel like in every person's life, when we grow, we have to learn to unlearn certain things that we were taught earlier from our childhood, that this is what life's supposed to be, but we have to unlearn that so we can grow to like be who we are today. So I do want to ask you, were there certain things that, or beliefs or things that you learned growing up that you had to unlearn, so that way you kind of let go of that mental shackle, and kind of, so that way you could kind of actually try and start doing the things that you wanted to do today? If you're looking back at it now, were like any self-limiting beliefs or things that you were just afraid to do? Yeah, go ahead.
So when I first started my online business, I had a lot of self-limiting beliefs. Like I was like, are people really going to pay me this much because I'm just an online coach?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, am I worthy enough of this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you really, like with anything, I tell my clients this stuff. Sorry, my dogs are loud. I tell anybody this all the time, my clients, my friends, like the biggest challenge with starting anything is not you and whatever you're doing. It's literally
Mm-hmm.
you versus you the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you have to just keep telling yourself it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. And that's what I told myself. Like, my business coach is just like, you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just have to show everybody that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I always say also too, just fake it till you make it. That's my biggest thing. But also just reading books helped me a lot. And just talking to other people and their experiences, because it's not just you.
Yeah.
Everybody feels the same how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's normal. It's just you have to you have to just work through your own limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel like you're not doing enough, then figure out how you can actually get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm sure you meet a lot of, you have a lot of family members, Filipinos. One of the things I notice about people, I'm Polynesian, I'm a proud Polynesian. I always see a lot of people within my culture, but there's something that's stopping them from taking that next step. Self-limiting beliefs is one of them. But I do want to ask, I'm just interested to hear, Moms, from you. I'm sure you see a lot of talented and potential Filipinos out there within your family, within your culture. What are the things that's stopping them from actually doing the things they really want to do, in your opinion?
The opinions of others.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, if you were to ask anybody, like any of my very close friends about me, I have a I don't care attitude. Like, I don't care what anybody thinks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you say. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people just take in so much of others' opinions and let it really affect them.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't really, like, what are they doing for you? Are they running your business? Are they, sorry, my dogs are loud.
It's okay.
Are they paying you? If the answer is yes to one of those questions, then I guess you should take their opinion. But if they're not, then who cares?
Yeah. So, that's absolutely true. That's why I always tell people, you got to be aware of the people who you're talking to make sure they're building you but not tearing you down. And also when it comes to the vision of your life, that's always one of the things I hear from a lot of people. Because naturally as human beings, we want the support of our people that love us. The support from our parents, support from our family members. So naturally, when we want to do something that's very going to bring us a lot of happiness, whether it's a goal, a dream, or starting our own business, we would love to have our people that's very close to us support us. But the problem with that is, like most people, it's like we're gonna go into it later on. People don't have the mindset. They don't see things as you see it. They don't have your perspective. It's really hard for people to believe in something if they can't see it. That's just normal. That's being a normal human being. We have to see it to believe it. Very visual. So when you want to do something and they can't see it, and of course they're always going to judge you based on the person you are today, not the person that you have the potential of becoming, which you know the type of person you want to grow into, but they can't see that. So I always tell people, you're not going to get that support. So nobody's going to support you. So, but that's normal. So don't turn it into a negative. Understand that they just can't see what you want to see. So, and understand that's normal human behavior, and just focus on what you got to do. And like you said, just have that I don't care attitude.
Yeah. Plus that, like, them telling you that you can't do it should drive you to even want to do it more. For like remember what I was saying about my mom? Like, she's like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, no, I'm going to run the other way and I'm going to do it. Yeah. So it's just like that to me just fuels my ambition. Like, okay, let me just show you what I can do. Yeah. And then you could see me in 6 months from now and I'm thriving and doing great.
Yeah. You said it best. And whenever somebody tells you like you can't do something, it's not a limitation on you, it's a limitation on them, because they've never done it. They can't expect you to support something that they have never done. But that's most people.
Oh my gosh. I just listened to a podcast and he was like, it's exactly about that. And like having other people's opinions around you. It's like, if you're asking your mom if you should start a business and they've never started a business, you shouldn't be asking them.
You should never ask them. Yeah.
They don't know the struggles. They don't know that they can do it. They just think, no, it's going to be
Yeah.
too hard. It's too much time out of your
But
hands.
they've never done it. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to start a business, you go ask somebody that has started a business.
Exactly. Yeah. You never take opinions of people that have never done it.
Yeah, because
I don't
that's
care who
dumb.
it is. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So for me, like if I'm asking somebody's opinion, I know that they've done it or they're like super smart about a certain thing.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
literally, some people, when people tell me things, I'm in my head, I'm like, do I think that you're credible or no? And if I don't
Yeah.
think you're credible, I'm just not going to listen to you.
Yeah. It's common sense, right? You don't go to your doctor for spiritual issues, right? You don't go
But
to
some
your
people don't have common sense. That's the thing. Common sense is not common. It's only common to
yeah,
you.
yeah. Well, the thing is, most people are like, well, yeah. If you take away the emotion part, it's the emotion part, right? Just be practical about it. You realize these things, but I know a lot of us, when we make decisions, our emotions
Are
go into it,
emotional. Yes.
right? So that's why we go to our family members, be practical. Like, okay, my mom has never done that. Logically, I shouldn't ask her, take the emotions out of it. I know that's my mom, but she doesn't know it. I need to go to find somebody else. So yeah, so if you listen to this, yeah, make sure you guys take the right advice. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of people do, if you listen to our podcast, if you listen to a lot of successful people, one of the biggest advice they always say is make sure you get the right advice from the right people. So yeah, because you have to understand, one decision can change your life. So you get the wrong advice from somebody in the wrong place, wrong situation, that can change your whole life. So that's why it's so important to make sure you get the right advice from the right people. So, since we're talking about advice, what kind of have you ever asked advice from somebody and they gave you some bad advice, and this was coming from somebody that you knew, you saw it out, but now I should have never asked advice from that person?
I can't. Let me think. I feel like no, but I don't know, because honestly, I'm very picky about who I talk to about certain things.
Okay.
So I feel like no, because like all my friends right now, like we were talking about this weekend. Your network is your net worth, right?
Yep.
So people, I've been so big on who you hang out with shows a reflection of who you are. So every time I'm with my friends group, like any friend group, the topic of our conversation isn't about people, isn't about like anything, but it's about how can we level up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can I help my clients better? How can we do this, this, and this? So I'm thankful that I have such a great group around me that hasn't really been a problem for me.
Okay. I want to ask you, one of the things I always tell people, when you grow, you have to also outgrow the people, and that's a sad reality, but it's a hard reality, but it's a real reality, right? I do want to ask you, did you have to outgrow some of your friends and cut them off because they weren't aligned with what you're trying to do for your life?
Yes. And it's not like I'm not talking to them anymore. Like we are still friends, but we're just like acquaintances. And one thing my old boss would tell me, because I'm like, what, 25, 20, when I was 25, he was like, Crystal.
Yeah.
This dude is like 36. I think he's 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
He's like, Crystal, as you get older, every person that you thought you knew is just going to be an acquaintance. Yeah. You're just going to have to get used to it. It's really going to be you, maybe 5 close friends and your family, and that's it. And like, at that time, like I know a lot of people and I have such a big circle. But at that time, I was like, what is this man talking about? Like, whatever, he's just old. But looking back at it now, maybe like a year or two from now, I was just like, wow, he's actually right. Like, I literally have my really close circle, my family that I hang out with often, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's the hard reality for a lot of people. That's one of the biggest, I guess, one of the hardest things a lot of people can't do is really outgrowing their friends. Because I understand. I also understand the emotional part. We all grew up together, but that's just the hard reality. You're not, if you really want to grow and you really want to maximize your life, and you really want to find out who you can really become and reach your full potential, you're not supposed to be with the same people. But I love what you said. It doesn't mean it's really different for anybody. It's like I'm not telling you how to do it. Some people you have to cut off, and then some people, like you said, just limit your exposure to them. That's all you have to do. I have a lot of friends that I grew up with my life, but I have to limit my exposure to them because And the reason why that's important, because when it comes to friends, we generally put our guard down.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when we're the most vulnerable, and that's when people get influenced us the most. You know, when I meet people in public, like my guard is up. I'm very self-aware. I'm very perceptive to make sure what they say doesn't affect my mentality. But the thing is, it's hard to do that when you're friends in your relationship with. So you're most susceptible for them giving you bad advice or influence you to make some bad decisions that's not going to push you towards where you want in life. So that's why it's really, really important to have self-awareness. You know, to tell your friend, hey, I love you, but I'm trying to go over here and I need to go over there. If you need me, just holler at me, but I can't, I got to do my thing. I got to go this way. And if they're really your friend, like true friends, right? Then they'll understand it and support you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes friends ain't really your friends,
That's facts.
They're just there because there's something they can get out of you. Sometimes that's how friends are. They're just with you because they want something out of you. But real friends, doesn't matter what they get out of you. They're going to support you no matter what. So know that. All right. I want to ask you, before we go into we have some great topics for you guys. We have some great topics regarding happiness, love, success. I do want to go into it. But I'm always for me, when I meet great people, influential people, successful people like yourself, I'm always very interested in how you deal with adversity and how you deal with failure. I feel like one of the biggest reasons why people never, take that first step or never start anything or even reach their full potential, they don't want to go through the hardship. They want it easy. They want everybody, especially today's social media age of instant gratification society, fast delivery, fast dating, fast, everything's fast now. So that has become the norm and expectation now in every aspect of our life. But the problem is that doesn't work when it comes to dreams, goals, and aspirations. We have to put in the work. All right. So can you talk about your hardest failure that really, really challenged you, that really, really challenged you? Because everybody doesn't ever done anything great. We all go through challenges in our life. So I want to ask you, what was the hardest failure that you went through, the hardest challenge you went through, and how did you go through it? Also, type of person did you become after it? You're gonna go talk about that.
Well, I was having issues in January this year, actually. It wasn't even just about me. It was more I was so in my head so much that I was just I was just dealing with a lot of stuff, right? I was like, okay, maybe this isn't working out for me and this is what's causing it. And I was just I probably posted content a little bit. I wasn't posting as often as I did. I had a big turnaround in February, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take what I was messing up in February, take all that anger and just sadness. And I was just whatever it was, and just use it for content. I know what I can do. I know my potential. I'm gonna take it as a learning experience, and I'm just gonna throw it into all my work. And from there, you have to really just I always tell this to everybody. Everything that happens to you, just take it as a learning experience. Nothing is a failure, but a learning experience. So with my clients, I'm just okay, maybe you overdid it one day, right? Okay, cool. You're learning from it. Bad relationship, bad dating experience. You have to literally don't take it. I mean, it's sad. It's bad. But you have to take it in and be okay, it happened, but I can do better the next time. Type of thing. And it's you can't just take your failures so to heart, because I really did, especially with my clients. If my clients did bad, I felt bad. I literally sent my whole program to all of my friends. And I was just am I a bad coach? What would you want from a coach? And they're just Crystal, everything is so self-explanatory. If they're not succeeding, it's not your fault, because you still check in, you still do the stuff. And I was just okay, but I for me, sometimes I just need that reassurance from 20 different people to tell me no, you're doing fine. You're doing fine.
Yeah.
But it's also, you really can't take that 1% that's being bad, pulling you down. You can't let that pull you down, because you still have 99% that's really good.
Yeah.
So it's just really you really have to take everything as a learning experience, and how can you elevate and do better next time?
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So no, I love your answers because the problem with a lot of people is
They don't
they
think
take
that way.
yeah they take one experience one thing that happened in their life and they define their whole life from that one experience. And that's what most people. You fail one time, I'm a failure, right? You know, if something doesn't work out, if something traumatic happened in your childhood, then my whole life is going to be traumatic, right? If I went through pain, my whole life's going to be painful. So there's this old saying, you get what
Say
you get what you're looking for. All right. So
yes.
if you are if you fail one time and you really think that you're going to fail and that's all you're looking at, then all you're going to see and attract is failure.
Oh my
Then
gosh, I literally have to say something.
go ahead.
So with my clients, because I'm about like health and fitness and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, when I first hop on a call with people, not even my client yet, just a consultation.
Yeah.
And they're like, I want to be healthy, and I'm like, do you think of yourself as a healthy person?
Yeah.
Do you truly?
Yeah.
Now, when they say no, I'm like, that's the reason why you are not doing what you need to be doing, because
Yeah.
your mindset is literally the most powerful thing, right? When people tell me, oh, maybe I can do this, because I always ask, do you feel like this will help you achieve your goals? They're like,
Yeah.
I think this can. I'm like, you can't say think. You have to say,
Yeah.
I know this will help me.
Yeah.
Like the power of your words and the power of your mind are so powerful. Like if you keep thinking that way, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
If you tell yourself every single morning, I'm gonna be successful, the success is gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it's like you have the power of your words and your mind. You just have to be positive, or else all that negativity is just gonna show up in your face.
That's absolutely true, right? No, and that's why I love what you said. Our relationship with ourselves, how we see ourselves, is so important, right? Because I always tell people all the time, like life is all about perspective. How you see life. Many people will just choose to see life in a negative way, and if you see things in a negative way, then all you're gonna see is negativity. And if you always see negativity, you're gonna attract negativity. And if you attract negativity, you're gonna have a negative life. It's like common sense, right?
The law of attraction.
Law of attraction, right? So people are successful. And this is why a lot of people, like you said, people are successful. They don't, even though they may not be successful, as far as at this point, as far as resources and the goals and dreams they want to manifest at this moment, but they see themselves as successful, right? I think I saw this thing on psychology, like as human beings, like we have a fundamental human need to stay consistent of how we consistently see ourselves. So it doesn't matter if you, Crystal, can give them the best guide and plan and workout regimen to being healthy. But if you see yourself as overweight and unattractive and unhealthy, and that's how you see yourself, then you're always going to act depending on how you see yourself, regardless of what you're given to it. And I love what you said. You asked them that question is, do you see yourself as healthy? Because it doesn't matter what I can give you, right? It doesn't matter the tools I can equip you with. But if you always believe and see yourself as unhealthy and unattractive, then that's always how you're going to act upon and attract in your life. So I do want to ask you, one of the things, I know we talked about it before before the podcast, how a lot of people see on social media, and a lot of people see on social media, and this is the thing, right? And this is the problem with social media. Well, social media it has its pros and cons. It's great, but also the things, it doesn't help a lot of people. But the problem with a lot of people is whenever they see somebody like you or anybody that's successful, they always have the perception of, okay, they don't see the process of what you went through. So that's why for them, like, okay, they see you, they see anybody else, but they don't see the work that you put in. So they automatically believe, and that's a problem with a lot of people, is they're always comparing themselves to highly successful people, but not realizing these people are just regular people. They came from the bottom, but they have to put in work. So for a lot of people, on the bottom, they see somebody like you, Crystal, she's very healthy, but they always compare themselves. I'm not healthy. I'm the way I need to be. And they kind of they critically talk themselves out of not doing anything.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I always tell people, everybody goes with their own struggles. Even successful people, they're human too. We go through our own struggles. Nothing's perfect about them, right? Yeah. It's just it's like we talked about before, like we go through our struggles, but it's how we deal with it. You've gone through your struggles, but you chose to see it as experiences, as learnings, as lessons, right? And that's why you are who you are today. So I do want to ask you, are there, just for everybody out there that's watching, so they can get some context on, are there things you struggle with a lot of people may not know, so that way the people can understand that we're all human beings out here? So are there things that you struggle with people may not know because they have a perception of you? But if you want to talk about that and kind of give that to everybody.
Yes, yes. So before I started doing online training, I
Yeah.
was a regular in-person trainer. Okay, guys, regular in-person trainer. And you guys, I was broke.
Yeah.
I was probably making 600 check broke type of thing.
Yeah.
Like I've been training for 4 years and now like I'm actually I probably 3 to 4 years in, I started to do better. It
Hmm.
took me a good 2 to 3 years to get there. And I've been
Hmm.
working out since I was 18, okay?
Yeah.
18 in the gym, really like trial and error learning for myself. Finally took the jump when I was like, I forgot, maybe like 23, 24, 22, 23 to get personal
Hmm.
training certification.
Hmm.
And I was a broke trainer for a good 2 to 3 years. No, like,
Yeah.
and in addition to that, when I was starting my online business, like, oh my gosh, I did not sleep. I mean, I still kind of don't sleep, but I literally throw myself into work. Like right now, my current routine is I wake up at 6:30, kind of get ready for my day. Now that it's so busy with my business, I actually have a few in-person clients that I see. So I get out of my house at 7 a.m., do my in-person clients, get coffee, come back home, and then
Hmm.
I just work all day. Legit.
Hmm.
Work
Hmm.
all day. I talk to people from like 12 to 8 p.m. on Zoom, doing sales calls, doing client calls, texting my clients. And then from 8 to 1 a.m., I'm doing client work and making content at the same time.
Hmm.
Like, what? That's my life. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes, you see me, I look like I'm having fun doing all this stuff, but yeah, nobody sees that. I literally put in hours of my life into work.
Hmm.
They just see my me living my best life. And I'm like, some of that stuff is like really old. It could be from last year. I mean, my reels are new, but like
Yeah.
some of my pictures, they could be from last year. They could be from like 2 years ago. It's not all today.
Yeah. Yeah. I do want to ask you, for building the relationship with yourself, right? That's one of the things people struggle with is building that relationship with yourself and also accepting your flaws and things that you struggle with. So, um, the flaws that can you talk about your own flaws for yourself, the things that you struggle to work on? Some people can have that person, because I love to talk about that because I want people to understand that when it doesn't matter how much work you put in yourself, it doesn't matter what level of success you achieve, we're all still gonna have flaws.
Yes. I always
And
say
there's
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 room for improvement.
exactly, there's no perfection. And a lot of people, like, they think, okay, I want to be successful because I want this be this perfect person, and that's a path to misery. Like, you're never gonna. There's no, like, a lot of people, I always hear a lot of people, I want to be successful because I want this amount of money. If I get this amount of money, I'll be happy. If I get this target weight, I'll be happy. And then so they're seeking this
There's no
this
such
this number,
thing.
exactly. So they're seeking this superficial value or superficial happiness, but the reality is that there's no amount of money, or there's not a target where you're going to hit that you're going to absolutely just feel perfect by yourself. It's learning how to deal with your own insecurities and finding that balance to love yourself. So I want to ask you real quick. So, can you talk about your own flaws for yourself and how did you learn to manage it to still feel happier, knowing that it is a flaw that you have? It is, everybody has their own flaws, but how did you find a way to, like, not let it, pull you and stop you, not let it limit you on how you feel about yourself, but just learning how to deal with it. Like, I have my flaws as a man, but I don't let my flaw, I accept them and I continue to work on it, but I don't let that be the reason why I think about, okay, I'm never going to be this because I have this part of myself. I just accept it as a man, who I am, but I also focus on the good things that I have by myself and just keep going. So can you talk about that?
I am a huge overthinker.
Yeah.
That is my problem. Is I feel like it's a good thing and a bad thing for me, because like sometimes I literally don't sleep because I just have so much that I'm like thinking about in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like at first it really used to consume me, and I used to make it so negative.
Mm-hmm.
But then I shout out to my friend Sheila, started meditating, started journaling, and just like taking time for more self-care for yourself and just really
Mm-hmm.
understanding, okay, yes, I have this issue. I also say yes to everybody too. That's another flaw I have.
Yeah.
um and it's just really taking the time for self-care for yourself. Like take a day where you don't do anything or just really focus on planning for yourself, because like you can get caught up in like your own struggles. and
Mhm.
weaknesses.
Mhm.
And it's just like, if you just keep going, it's never going to happen. Like, you're
Mhm.
never going to get better. So it's really just slowing down and just like taking, okay, this is what I need to work on. Like, no matter what it is, whether if it's like your self-confidence or just like me overthinking and just stuff like that, like really take time to work on it. Because if you
Mhm.
don't address the problem, it's just
Mhm.
going to get worse. That's what I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of people do. They don't address the problem. Like, for me, sometimes if I see when I used to see an issue, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go on vacation and just call it a day. Go on vacation and call it a day. But it's like, no, I can't
A
like
lot of
just
girls, a
leave.
lot of girls do
I
that nowadays. Social media.
I can't leave and just come back. So now like my holy grail is just like going to the beach and just thinking, sitting there and thinking, bringing a book or just like bringing my notebook and just sitting there and like reflecting on life. I feel like
Mhm.
reflection is so important that people don't do that. They just kind of keep
Yeah.
going and go through their daily life no matter how busy it is. But it's like every day or like during the week, I'm just like, okay, this is how this week went. How can I make it better the next week? Or what can I do to improve on myself, improve on my business, improve on school, or like how can I get to where I want to be type of thing.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So you said that one of the things you struggle with is saying no, right?
I used to say
Uh,
yes to everybody.
so I want to ask you, how did you overcome that? You know, I know a lot of people. Um, yeah, that's something I do notice. Sometimes people are too kind. I know you have a kind heart, but it's one of the if you're a kind person, if you grew up with you have a big heart and a loving heart. One of the hardest struggles you're going to realize, especially when you start going into on your self improvement or whatever business you want to go into, is learning how to say no to people. That's one of the hardest challenges I hear from other people. Learning how to say no, because generally, like I said, I've just listened to you. I know you have a big heart. I know you love to help people. That's why you're doing what you're doing today. That's why you're passionate about, just helping people. But um, I think you mentioned earlier that you have to take care of yourself first and knowing
Mm-hmm.
your boundaries. Because the reality is you can't help everyone. You know, the only
Yeah,
person that I always tell people all the time, like the only person that can help anybody is themselves. You know, you have to understand that you can try to love somebody as much as you can, help them, give them the resources or whatever help they need, but ultimately that responsibility is going to fall on them. So
exactly.
you are not responsible for anybody's happiness or well-being. So you have to understand. But like I said, if you have a pure heart, a genuine heart like you do, like it's really really hard because generally
I
you
know.
do want to help everybody at the end of the day. But yeah, how did you overcome that? And what's your like this? What's your do you have any rules and things like when of what's your what are things that you see when people that you know, okay, I have to draw the boundary, that you recognize with
Um,
people and learning how to say no to them.
well, now, because I used to say yes to everybody, like I would commit
Yeah,
to 5 things in one day
yeah,
and realize that I couldn't go to all 5 things. Like I was
yeah,
stressing myself out. Like, how am I gonna
yeah,
get here? Like literally from city to city, right? Like,
yeah.
no, that did not work. So for me now, I only set like if I'm gonna do something, I'm
Mm-hmm,
only gonna do one thing a day. Like whoever friend group it is, whoever I'm gonna hang out with or do whatever, that's the only thing I'm gonna do today. Because
mm-hmm,
I was literally stressing myself out, trying to do multiple things at once, to say yes to everybody, to make everybody happy. But it's just like, no, I can't do that to myself. I need to just focus on one thing at a time. And that's one thing I used to struggle with too, is like focus. I am really good at focusing. That's what my boss told me. He was like, you're very good at your work, but you don't pay attention to anything else. Like I'll
yeah,
do something really, really good and then forget about everything else and that's happening in my life. So
yeah,
sometimes I'd focus on my friends so much that I forget about work and school, or I'm
yeah,
working on work and school so much. Like when I started my online business, I didn't see my friends for like 3 months. They're like,
yeah,
what happened to Crystal? Is she dead? Like you guys
yeah.
see me posting on social media, just talking about working out and all this stuff, but I wasn't seeing anybody. I was just doing what
Yeah.
I needed to be doing. So now I give myself one day off a week where I can hang out with my friends. And then I have one other day where I just have a lighter work day. So I can just focus on what I need to do for myself too.
Mm-hmm,
And just setting it yourself on a schedule. I feel like routine, I personally have always thrived off routine. So having a set schedule for me has helped me so much. And just scheduling time for yourself, even if it's time to eat, schedule
yeah,
yourself time to eat, schedule yourself time to work out. I always say without a plan, Planning to fail is
Yep.
planning to fail is failing. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. There you go.
Failing to plan is planning to fail. Yeah.
Yeah. So that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I know a lot of times social media can kind of overvalue things, and I know sometimes when I hear people, because if you watch a lot of motivational videos on social media, there's always that video, right? Grind, sacrifice, no sleep.
No, it's true.
So a lot of people, use, and like I always tell people is like, when you, like going back to before, like when it comes to your life, you have to know yourself, right? You have to know yourself. What may work for one person may not also work for you. So for that person, if he built his success over like just 2 hours sleep and he grinded his whole life and still made things happen, hey, great, great for him. But that may not necessarily work for you. It's so important to have that self-awareness, right? So some people can work those, long hours and take no days off and no breaks. But certain people, we need that day off. we need that work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
And that's a
you
question.
Can't burn yourself out.
Exactly. What I always tell people, the most important thing is not intensity, it's frequency. It's all about consistency. There's no point of killing yourself for 2 years and then you have a mental breakdown and then you have to stop working for 6 months or for a year just to heal. Mm-hmm. So it's better off to make sure you put that consistent work. So it's funny you mentioned that, when you went through a struggle, then you were trying to wanted to take a break and go on vacation, go on break.
Yeah, I literally want to delete, like, I tell my assistant this like probably once a month. I'd be like, I want to delete Instagram. And he's like, Crystal, I need to work. You can't do that. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna delete it off my phone and then I'll come back in like a few days.
I know. Oh, it's funny whenever I see people go like, all of a sudden out of nowhere, they're on a break on vacation. I'm like, oh, something must have happened. They're escaping from something.
Yeah, no, seriously.
So yeah, thank you for sharing a part of your life. I really appreciate that. Got a chance to know the Filipino culture. I know you didn't, we're still looking for that karaoke. You do got to karaoke at least once. At least once, like you said, you got to try something before you find out. At least use it on your bucket list. Karaoke experience and post it on Instagram. See everybody, we can check it out.
Oh no!
I'll be on your reel. You singing karaoke.
I know, for real, right?
All right, so I appreciate you sharing a part of your life. Anybody that's watching this, if you have any comments, anything you want to share, please drop some comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. But I do want to like I said, I do want to go into happiness. One of the things that I like to promote on my podcast, happiness, love, success. So one of the questions I do have for you is regarding happiness. I know we talked about earlier, is nowadays in social media, a lot of people are looking for happiness in another person. Yes. So, and of course, you already know, if you're trying to find validation from other people, that's a battle you're always going to lose, because the only person that can love you as much as anybody is yourself. So, all right. So, can you talk about that? What do you see? What's like experiences that you've seen that like people are just nowadays are just don't take, like you said, don't take the time to reflect and check up on themselves and make sure they build that relationship with themselves. And can you talk about that?
Yeah, I feel like you said earlier, people are so into like instant gratification, right? They see all this stuff on Instagram. They see all this stuff on social media. Like, I need to be doing that. I need to be doing this and this and this. I'm just like, you need to stop comparing yourself to other people. That's what you need to do. Because it's just, honestly, you do what makes you happy. The people that be posting that stuff, that could all be a facade. Like, you don't know how happy they are in real life, right? They could just be flexing on the gram and then calling it a day. Like, reflect on yourself and like, are you really happy? Are you doing what you want to do in your life? Type of thing. Yeah. And it's like, I feel like I said, like you said too, right? A lot of people look for happiness in somebody else. Like, I hear this, my aunt said this actually. She was like, yeah, I wish, my daughter wasn't with her boyfriend yet. I really want her to find herself and da 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 da. And I'm like, when they see me, they're like, wow, you're so like, you and you know what you like, you know what you want out of life. And I'm like, that's me, that's true. I did have a lot of time like self-reflecting and just really like experiencing life. Like, if somebody were to like when my sister's friends see me on social media since like, I don't know, maybe 5 years back, they're like, oh wow, your sister's living her best life. And I was like, that damn straight I am. I'm doing what I
Yeah.
want to do, not
Mhm.
answering to anybody. I'm just living life and doing what I feel like would help me later on too.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, why are so many people just trying to find happiness in somebody else or buying something or like, I don't know, just something like putting it on someone or an object? Who cares?
Mhm.
The only person, like you said, the only person that's going to make you happy is literally yourself. So
Mhm.
it's just really working on yourself.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself as a person you see to be with somebody else?
Mhm.
And if not, work on it.
Mhm.
I read a lot of books. I read a lot of books.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's self-care and finding yourself and personal growth is one of the things that many people don't often do. Very few people
Yeah.
do it, but it's not something like you were talking about, like taxes, credit. Those are things that we don't
Oh
teach,
yes.
right? So it's same thing when it comes to personal care and loving yourself. We don't. Those are things that we're not taught about for most people as
Mm-hmm.
kids, especially if you come from a very cultured background, right? Because like
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it, Filipinos, Polynesians, I think we're similar, but if you come from a very traditional cultured background, if you realize like the way they teach us, it's all about doing what's best for your parents, doing what's best for your family, living your life for your family, give it back to your family. So you're literally teaching people to disregard their own personal care and personal happiness for the benefit of your own family.
Yeah.
So then when we go into when we grow up into the adult world, that's our mindset. So naturally, we're just kind of do things for other people, but it's really really hard for us to learn uh, self growth, self development, personal growth, and take care of yourself first. Because your whole life, like you said, you've been taught to make sure that you keep your parents happy, make sure you keep your family happy, and you come second to your family and your parents. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people grow up in. So that's why it's really hard for people when
To
it
get
comes
out of it.
to get out of it, right? I don't know. Have you ever had that experience when growing up when you did something for yourself and you felt uncomfortable when you did?
No, no, but my assistant actually tells me that all the time because he helps out his family a lot, even though he doesn't
Yeah,
live with them.
yeah,
And I'm like, you literally have to put yourself first because you keep giving them all you
yeah,
have,
yeah,
and you feel like something's wrong with you. Like you
yeah,
don't have anything for yourself. You feel bad. You just have so much mental like health issues right now. And I'm just like,
yeah.
you should literally take yourself like an hour, 2 hours away from them, work on you for a year, and then come
Hmm.
back because then you can help them out even more. But
Yeah,
when you keep giving yourself so much to whatever it is, doesn't matter family, relationship, I don't know whatever it is, you keep giving and you don't take time for yourself, you're gonna burn out and
yeah,
it's not gonna be good in the long run.
exactly. So everything has to come through you. So,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, give, right? No, you can't give from an empty cup.
Yep.
So if you're empty, then what else can you give? That's why it's so important to make sure that your cup is overflowing, that your cup is full.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I know a lot of times, depending on how you grow up, a lot of times people will like put a label on you. Oh, okay. Oh, you don't love us, or you don't, you're not no more because you're trying to take care of yourself, and label you as selfish, or label you as being arrogant or being prideful because you want to do your own life or live your own life, right? So
People have told me that so many times,
yeah,
but I'm gonna say yes because guess what? I love myself that much. People probably think I'm like so big headed, but the only person that's gonna love you the most is yourself. So you better just keep saying that.
is that what some of your family members think of you?
Probably
What?
some of my friends, but
Yeah,
I don't know. My family, they're very loving and giving, so I'm not like that too much. I feel like around them, but I feel like some of my friends probably think that of me, but I don't care. I
yeah,
love me, and I'm gonna keep doing me.
exactly. So the one thing I do want to add to that, because I look, I'm a big advocate to self care, self happiness. Live your own life, do what's best for you. Um, but so make sure that you're happy, take care of yourself, but always make sure that you build quality relationships.
Hmm.
It's so important because at the end of the day, look, you can be happy, but at the end of the day, we're human beings. We're social creatures. We still need to be around good people to live a very fulfilled life. You can't be
Hmm.
happy lonely for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
So
but one thing people always say is it does get lonely at the top.
Exactly. So I do want to ask, that's why it's so important to take care of yourself, but also make sure that you also value the relationships with other people as well.
Mhm.
I do believe that there are certain, I want to ask you this. I do believe sometimes girls and guys too, they take the the self love sort of very toxic level. These are things
I
I
hate
hear,
that. I
or like
hate that.
I hear women are like, I hear a lot of girls say on social media, live your best life. I don't need no man. And then guys was like, let's live our best life. I don't need no woman. I don't need relationships. But the reality is, yes, you do. Deep down, everybody wants to have good relationships, good friends. Nobody
Mhm.
wants to be alone their whole life. And also, I do believe that that's also my faith as well in God. Like, He didn't create us to be alone. There's a reason
Yeah.
why we have people, and there's a man and a woman, is to make sure that we find a relationship with each other. So, do you feel like do you see that sometimes where people are they take the self love to a very toxic level where they want to live our best life, but I feel like it's very people need to make sure that that's when people say, oh, um, don't care about other people, do you, don't worry about it. I always say, nah, this is over. I always say, just no, do take care of yourself first, but also make sure that you are still taking that you don't cut off relationships and you don't burn bridges with people.
Yeah,
That's what I
no.
believe.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
believe in burning bridges with anybody, or like cutting people off like that. It just really depends what it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you're
yeah,
cutting them off on, but like I may, block and unblock you just so you don't see my stuff.
yeah, yeah,
But that's about it. Like I'm not gonna keep you blocked. I always have everybody like if you have my number, you have my number. It is
yeah,
what it is. If you need to reach me, I'm here. But yeah, I always say always give back. You shouldn't cut off everybody.
yeah.
Um, like your friends. What was I gonna say?
Have you heard? Have you seen that before? Have you heard that from not
Yes.
only friends, from people, but like, look, and they're just like they say self love, but it's very toxic. They're like, I don't need nobody. I don't care for nobody. I'm gonna do me. But the problem is, when I see people like that, I know they're in a lot of pain, right? Because something
Yeah.
happened to them or somebody hurt them to feel that way. They're just putting that defensive wall. There's a saying that one of my favorite quotes is like, the walls that we build to protect our hearts can also protect you from the very people that love you.
Yeah.
So when we put these walls up, you do it. I know it's a self-defensive mechanism for a lot of people because they're just being hurt. But at the same time, that same wall is going to prevent you from the people that really care about you to reach out to you because you're putting that persona now. I don't need nobody.
Yeah. I feel like none of my friends are like that. Like I don't know anybody that's exactly like I'm just gonna do me, da, 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 live my best life. I see that like a little
Yeah,
bit, but it's not
yeah,
like where they're like, okay, F this person, I'm gonna do whatever, whatever. I don't I thankfully, I have a
oh
really good like I said, I have a really good circle around me
yeah.
that they wouldn't go to like such toxic levels to do something crazy like that.
Do you have Twitter?
I do have Twitter. I love Twitter. So
Oh, that's
funny.
why you see that all you go on Twitter, you see that all the
No, yeah.
time.
I see what's on Twitter and I laugh and then I move on. I feel like
Yeah,
people
yeah,
are crazy.
yeah.
Nowadays people are just like so I don't know, like who wants that toxic energy? Like whenever somebody meets me, no matter if it's like on a Zoom call, I remember I had a Zoom call with my branding person.
Yeah,
First time she ever met me. She was like, "Damn, I love your energy." And I was like, "Thank you." Like,
yeah.
yes, I literally met my one of my friends, one of my trainer friends in San Diego this past week, and he was like, "Oh my god, girl, I love your energy." And I was like, "Thank you." Like, why do you want bad vibes? Like, your body will literally tell you if somebody is bad for you. I feel like you could
Hmm.
feel like
Hmm.
anxious, you don't feel good, even though you want to feel good, it just like giving you bad vibes. That's when you need to know you got to walk away.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to ask you. You said a lot of people are trying to look for happiness within other people. So if anybody if anybody right now that's watching this right now and they realize for themselves by watching this podcast from you that they are doing that and they realize they're not happy, what is the first in your I want to ask your opinion, what's the first step?
First
Just
step.
somebody first off, anybody out there that's constantly seeking happiness from other people, but they're always failing. They're always feeling miserable. They're looking for change right now. They're watching this podcast, and this is your chance. This is your chance to listen from me. What's your first step for them to find that self happiness within themselves?
The first step is to admit it to yourself and call yourself out on it.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people are just like, they kind of brush it off, right? They know it, but it's like
yeah.
they don't. I always tell this to
Pride,
everybody. You
pride, right?
have to, not just that, but you have to peel the onion. You have to understand every single layer. Like, Okay, I'm calling myself out. I'm finding, I'm trying to find validation and happiness in somebody else. Okay, perfect. Now you have to figure out the why.
Yeah.
Okay, not just calling yourself out, but why am I doing that? Whatever past trauma or like whatever something happened to you in your life. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what can I do to help fix that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it's such a process. Like you can know something, but are you going to do something about it? Do you know
Yeah.
why it's happening?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's not just like with validation with people. It's like my friend, like I had a friend, right? Not very confident in herself. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, why? And she was like, I don't know. And I'm like, girl, everybody knows exactly why they feel a certain way. They just don't feel ready to admit it to themselves.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you have to just keep peeling every single layer until you get to your true core and be like, okay, this is why, and this is what I really need to fix to get to where I want to be.
Yeah. For a lot of people, they don't want to admit they're wrong. You know, they don't want to admit they're wrong or to admit the dark things about themselves. You know, a lot of people are trying to hide a lot of things about themselves they don't want to deal with because they know it's associated with a lot of pain. So it's much easier to numb themselves and think they're happy into somebody else, but the reality is that there's something about themselves that they're trying to hide or trying to suppress or trying to that they're not bringing it up. So um, just to add on to what you said, I always tell people it's so important to make sure that you build that relationship with yourself and also be happy because you have to know what you have to know your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people never take the time, I feel like, to know what makes them really, really happy. And if you don't know what makes you happy, you know, the things about other people that don't make you happy. So that way you can set boundaries for yourself and protect your happiness. If you never take time to really ask yourself, like you said, the why question, ask yourself, why am I not happy? Perfect. Okay. Now I know why I'm not happy. What are you gonna do? Now you know the solution to the problem. If you don't know the solution, then everybody just living with this problem, but nobody takes the time to find the solution. If you don't go to the root of your unhappiness and figure out why you're not happy, so once you know the root of the problem, then you can figure out why. But if you never take that time to go down that path of like peeling that onion because you're afraid to peel it because you may not like what you see about yourself, then like you said, then you're always constantly be looking for happiness about other people. Because once you know what makes you happy, then you'll be able to make somebody else happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I literally feel like it's always a cycle. I say this with everybody. Like, you know, in any relationship, doesn't matter, friendship, or like romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Like sometimes if there's like a problem and you don't address it, you don't understand why and what you can do better, it's just gonna keep being a cycle and then it's gonna break.
Yeah,
every single time. Yeah.
It's like a virus. It's just constantly just gonna be like spreading throughout you their whole life. And then one day it's gonna get to that point and that's when you hit that critical point and life just comes crashing. You have that people have midlife crisis. People have those midlife crises in their life out of nowhere. It's just because they keep like just throwing it, brushing it to the side. Yeah. They eventually will come up. All right. And that's why we have people like you, coaches, help them out.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a coach, hit up Crystal. She got you. She got you.
I definitely help my clients, like not just like with their fitness, but like I feel like it just spills over into their whole life, you know, like the planning, the prepping, the self-work too. It just spills over into your whole life.
All right. So thank you for talking about happiness. I'm gonna go into love, dating, relationships, men.
I was like, no.
I know this is a topic you say you don't want to talk about. But we definitely need to talk about it because that's what everybody's asking about nowadays. Everybody's looking for love. Everybody's looking for love, man. All right, so I want to ask you were talking about the struggles of dating today, the modern man or woman, 2021, with social media. So I know we talked about the struggles of dating today for a lot of people, and this is something I always hear from a lot, not only from you but also from a lot of people as well. You know, they're everybody's talking to multiple. Everybody's talking to multiple people. So it's that's one of the main concerns I hear from a lot of people is like, like going into when you meet somebody you really really like and you have to build a relationship with them, knowing that they're also giving that same attention to other people as well.
Yeah.
So And that's just the reality of the dating culture nowadays. When you date somebody or when you're in a relationship with somebody, especially in the early stages when things are not official, it's unofficial, the talking stage. You have to also know that girl or that guy is probably talking to 5 or 10 other girls as well. So, so you gotta step your game up and really, make sure that you're the one that he or she selects, and that's a very that's that anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of people not knowing if this person has the right intentions that you have. So yeah, can you talk about that? Yeah. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, honestly, when you were saying that, I was like, I did not choose to be in a dating game, so y'all get to step in, because that's literally what it sounds like, right? Like you're on The Bachelor, and you have this one person, and then they have 5 other choices. Like for me, if somebody were to tell me that they have other choices, go pick them, because I'm not going to be here waiting for that.
Okay.
Like I'm not here for it. Like I have so much to do and so much going on that for me, and I have so many other people to take account of, right? My clients, my customers, my friends, my family. That's already a lot of people. And if I were to take 10 other people on, no way. I don't even like texting back for last one. And I don't know. I just like only have, if I was going to give energy to somebody, it's only going to be one person.
Yeah.
At a time. Now, if I don't like that person, we can be friends. Cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I move on to the next. But it's just like so much. I don't know how people have time for it. That's for me.
Well, when you're looking for love, you make time. When you want something, you make time. You make time for it. All right.
That is very true.
Have you had some experiences like that in the past? Time relationship with guys, and then found out later they're talking to multiple people?
Yes, I have. And it's just like, me, do I want to say something? Yes and no, but it's like, am I at that point where I should be? To me, I feel like no, because it's like, it's not even at that point yet, right? Where you guys are like just together. It's just still the beginning stages. And I'm just like, I'm gonna let them do them, and I'm just gonna take a step back.
Okay.
I honestly, like, for me, stuff like that, it takes a toll on me. It really does.
Yeah.
And for me, I have so much, like I said, I have so much that I have to focus on, and I don't have time for that to bring me down. Like if you ever hear my assistant talk about me, he's like, you could be tired, you could be sad, you could be crying, but once you're like into work mode, you're a whole different person. And that's what I have to do. Like, doesn't matter what's going on, I'm just gonna have to hop back into work mode, hop back into coach mode, hop back into being a boss. And it's like, I don't have the time or energy for that to bring me down.
Yeah.
So I just take a step back from it.
Are you more of a dating app type of girl, or do you like to meet people in face-to-face?
I'm a face-to-face person. I don't have any apps.
All right. So you don't anybody that pursues you through social media, did you take that consideration, or you just don't at all?
I take it into consideration every now and then, but I really try not to, because it's like, to me, if they can do that to me, they can do it to somebody else at the same time.
Okay.
It just makes it so easy for other people to just like I said, just date other people, right? If he can do that to me, he can do it to somebody else. That's usually not what's in my head first, but that's what I think about later when I see how they act towards me. But yeah, it's very rare. Very rare. I'm very, very, very choosy about who I put into my life. Like I said earlier, like, I really don't like temporary people. It doesn't matter if you're friends, family, or like a significant other. I am so picky, because it's like, I don't know, I have a lot going on, and I really see myself like shooting up for the stars. So if you're gonna rock with me, you're gonna rock with me for a while, or I'm gonna kick you out. That's about it.
Okay. All right. But let me ask you, do you still believe in there are good men out there, and there are men out there that only want to talk to one girl?
Yeah, no, I totally believe that.
Okay.
Why? Cool. Because I have such a good friend, like my guy friends that I do hang out with, I've seen their relationship grow. Like, I know I have a good chunk of guy friends that are like kind of shady. I don't say anything, but I still love them. And then I have my really good guy friends that are like super good to their girlfriends, have been with them forever. and I've seen them and I'm just like, okay, you still have those group of guys that are like that, but there are a good chunk that are like really loving, really just committed and loyal. So I don't believe that everybody's like that, but I feel like, actions speak louder than words. So if I start seeing you act funny, I'm gonna just sit there and watch. One thing about me is I'm very observant of people and their actions. So yeah.
We say you're very observant. You act funny, you get dropped.
I won't drop you right away. I'm still gonna watch. I'm gonna see how you act. I'm not like I'm gonna drop you right away, but I do count my red flags.
You mentally dropped them already, but you would just delay the pain a little bit more.
No, that's true though, because when you think about it, women in general, females, they get emotionally detached. They stay a little bit longer, but they get emotionally detached faster, and they understand like, okay,
it's over.
Yeah, it's over. This is the breaking point now.
I also guys, once your girl's emotionally detached from me, it's over. The relationship is over.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what, like, it doesn't matter if the physical is still there. She can still have sex with you, but if she's emotionally detached from you, you keep it, pack your bags and look for something else. That's a sign. That's a sign.
Yeah, really.
You can sense it. But you were talking about being observant. So, what are the red flags that you see? That you see that this is a red flag. That once you see this, it's over.
Honestly, okay, so if I go on their social media, I know this is like a big thing, but this is a really big thing for me.
Yeah.
If I see that you just follow a bunch of females, red flag. Sometimes I don't pay attention to that, but then when I do look, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, I've seen that for somebody that I did try to talk to, and I was just like, I saw it, I ignored it.
Well, okay, when you say give me some percentages. Is it like 50%, 60%?
Like 70? I see all girls. That's it.
What's a healthy percentage for you that you'd be like, okay, that this is not a red flag? Like,
it's not even like percent. It's like you could. I don't know the percentage. You have to like you can scroll through anybody's thing, and if you see that they all follow just like if I say you see my 1,000 followers, I follow a bunch of dudes. I think that's a big red flag to me, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't care who follows me, but if I'm following a bunch of dudes, I think that's a big red flag about a girl or guy, doesn't matter.
Do you take consideration like the like there's the reason why you're following a bunch of dudes?
Yeah. No, I totally understand. If there's a purpose, go ahead and do whatever you need to do. But if I just see you follow a bunch of girls, that's all it is, and we all look almost the same, that's a big red flag.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Does the quality of the woman matter? So if you're following a bunch of girls, but there are girls that they're not attractive, does it matter?
Yeah, no, but it's like if I see, like I said, if we all look similar, that's kind of a problem.
But they don't look. What if the girls don't look similar at all?
I don't care. If it's all your friends, by all means, it's all your friends. But if you only have a bunch of female friends, that's kind of weird. Like even, I don't know about if it's the same for dudes, but I do have a good group of guy friends that I do hang out with. But to be honest, girls really hang out with girls and guys hang out with guys. Is that not true?
Yeah. There's no such thing as guy friends or girlfriends.
Yeah. So I was just like, that's a little funny.
That's bullshit.
That's funny. Yeah, that's BS. That's 100% BS. Now it's different if you're really acquaintances. Like that person, they're helping you out with whatever. I know people that actually has helped me out with like business wise, friends, acquaintances.
Oh, acquaintances. Yeah. No friends.
Yeah, acquaintances like friends. No, but I still feel like I have a good group of guy friends. I have girlfriends. I know their girlfriends too. Like we've been friends forever.
Yeah, I mean, there's no such thing as a guy best friend and girl best friend.
I do have a guy best friend, but he's gay.
Yeah, that's the only exception. Yeah, there's no such thing as a platonic guy best friend and male best friend.
Isn't it funny?
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, I think it's a little funny, but yeah, that's one red flag.
No, the reason why I bring it up because I've seen girls say that, right? If you follow a bunch of girls, then that's a clear red flag. And this is something I hear all the time, right, from a lot of people. But one thing I do notice is for a lot of women, it's always the girls that they feel like they're in competition with. So I've seen girls like, it's like, we talk about guy girl best friends, right? So if they see the best friend of the guy, and if it's a girl that she feels like this may compete with her, there's a problem. But I've also seen girlfriends where like the guy, oh, that's my best friend, but you look at the girl and she looks at the girl and she sees, oh, that's a girl. No, she's nowhere in my league. And then she's, oh, that's fine. That's your best friend. Oh, it's all cool, because she knows that in her mind she thinks, oh, she's on her level. So I feel like when women say that, oh yeah, huh?
I wonder if my friend feels like that, because he has a girlfriend. My friend who's straight, he's like one of my good guy friends.
Yeah.
I wonder if his girlfriend feels like that about me.
And men are the same way. Like, men are the same way. They see a guy best friend, like, if it's somebody that he feels like, oh, that person is like, I'm gonna compete with, then there's a problem. But if they see the guy best friend and he knows, oh, that dude's nowhere in my level. Like, he's like, oh yeah, I ain't more for that dude. Yeah, more about dude. So I just feel like I'm just like, that's what I notice about people. It's always the people they feel like they're in competition with. If it's not the people you're in a competition with. So if you saw a bunch of girls, and those girls are, I don't want to sound mean, but those girls are like straight up ugly, ugly, overweight. So I feel like some girls, yeah, I'm good, I'm confident.
I don't know. Either way, if it's just like girls and like if I see you follow like 70% girls and 30% dudes, I think that's a problem.
Is there any exceptions to that?
I don't think you have 70% of girlfriends and family. I think that's a fucking lie. Excuse my language.
No. I'm just being like the devil's advocate. I gotta hold it down for the boys.
Okay, go ahead. Well, I think it goes both ways. So either way.
Yeah. What if don't you feel like also the profession might make what if they're like a business manager for models or something, and their profession, they're in the modeling game.
Modeling game is both males and females, so I don't believe that.
Oh, he's a manager and he represents a lot of women. The model.
I'm a coach and I have a lot of fitness friends, right? Yeah. But I still get more girls than guys on my thing.
Perfect.
It's the same.
Perfect.
No, it's the same thing. For my followers, I have more guys than girls. That's just how it is. I'm a girl.
Yeah.
But even when I follow people, I look at who they are. I really don't follow anybody like that. Unless like you are in my inner circle, as in like my business group.
Yeah.
That's new. I will follow you. If I know you in person, I've met you in person, I will follow you. Other than that, I'm not going to follow you.
You ever heard of like Matthew Hussey?
Who's that?
It's like a famous relationship coach. He like majority of the people follows him, the women. Gives the women a lot of advice. You ever seen him? Okay. I'm just saying, what if he was a relationship coach for women? Would that be a red flag or no?
No. Wait, did they follow a relationship coach?
No, yeah, he's a relationship coach, and that's his career. He gives relationship advice to women, but he's a man. So everybody he follows.
That's literally, but he does it for women, specifically for women, right?
Yeah, that's his career. Would that be the exception for you?
Yeah, like it's like literally your niche. It has to be it is your niche, because if it's just a regular ass person, like, what are you doing? Like, truly, what are you doing, right?
Yeah. Okay, so that's a red flag. Any other red flags besides that social media?
For me, if you're literally, so one red flag, like one thing I really hate, it's not really a red flag, but it's one of my pet peeves. If you're watching all of my stuff on any social media thing and you're not hitting me back when I'm asking you a question, that's like one of my big pet peeves that I might drop you for.
Like reciprocation? Yes.
Really, because once I start to feel like, once you say you're being very consistent, right, with me from the jump, and then you start slowing it down, acting a little funny, there's like a 80% chance I'm going to drop you. Yeah. Because I just don't have time for that. What are you doing, playing games? Yeah. Like, if you're going to be doing something, just tell me. I'm a very understanding person, no matter what. If it's a relationship, friendship, you're my client. As long as you let me know, I truly do not care. Yeah. But yeah, communication is really big for me. And if you don't have good communication, or we cannot talk about anything, that's a red flag for me. Like, if you think I'm me expressing my feelings, saying that I didn't like this, why are you acting? Then you tell me, why are you acting crazy? Red flag. Yeah. big red flag, because it's not me acting crazy. It's me feeling away and addressing it and letting you know.
Yeah.
Because that's setting a boundary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, some people don't understand that. I feel like a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people, when they're addressing an issue, they're like, why are you acting crazy? You need to chill. I need to chill, or you need to understand that this is making me feel a certain way, and you should, that I'm saying, can you not do this anymore?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I do believe in that consistency and reciprocation, right? Yeah, that's what a relationship is. Like, and also like, that's also one of the biggest signs you can see when people are committed to you is how they respond to you. Because nobody's too busy.
They choose to be busy.
Yeah. This is something I always tell people. People will always make time for the people they value.
Exactly.
So they always, so men and women as well. So like if a guy, they're not giving you I know sometimes I'm not saying all women are crazy, but I know sometimes depending on the woman, they tend to overreact sometimes. I always tell people it's something that if you don't like something about someone, ask first. Because we always tend to, men do it as well, and women do it as well. Like we tend to like form this narrative. If the first time he doesn't react to you, the first time he doesn't respond to your text, and sometimes people have unnecessary arguments.
Oh, I do that. I literally did that. I told my friend, I was like, I haven't heard from this dude in like 6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going crazy. Like, no, because it's like, okay, I was used to like this, right? Super fast. And then all of a sudden this dude was dead. I was just like, I was talking to my friends. I was on FaceTime with them, and I was like, for me, I'm not gonna act crazy. Like, I'm not gonna go show up your house. I'm not gonna do that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait. But that stuff eats me inside. Like I said, I'm an overthinker. That stuff eats me inside. Talk to my friends. They're like, you need to chill. And I was like, okay, I will chill. Find out playing the game. That's fine. Let me know. You let me know. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, the one thing I would say, like I said, yeah, like if you see he's playing games, if he's acting in a weird way, it's all about behavior. People who really commit to you, love you, they'll be consistent. Everything will be consistent. What they say, and also the actions behind it. But the one thing I would say, you know how you just mentioned right now, like, women, you guys are more open to be vulnerable. You guys are more open to express your feelings and the things you've gone through, right? So, like you said, you have a problem with somebody, with the guy that you date, you're naturally just gonna go tell him, hey, this is how I feel. And of course, most women are like that. The only thing I will say is, I know for a lot of men, especially in society, like, we don't like
confrontation.
No, we don't like confrontation. Is when we go through our like women, is when they go through emotional struggles, they lean on their man for support. So a lot of guys, including myself, I had to work on this. Is when I go through my struggles, I don't tell my the girl I date. I don't tell nobody. I deal with this shit on my own. And for a lot of guys, as we're dealing with shit, mostly within ourselves, sometimes we're not aware of it, but we kind of just like we just kind of zone out from everything from our lives because we're dealing with these things. So I'm just saying is that's why I always tell ladies, ask the right questions and ask deeper, because I've seen it sometimes when guys, even myself, I'm just going through some shit because I'm trying to build my business. I'm trying to be successful. There's so many things I'm trying to accomplish in my life, and things are not working out. And that puts a lot of stress on me, but I never want to show it. And I'm struggling inside, emotionally. But like I said, I grew up in a society and a culture where I've been taught not to express these things to a woman, and this is how a man should be. So all I'm saying is sometimes there are guys that are just going through some shit in their life, and then he may not respond to your text. He may not give you the attention you need because he's just like going through some mental health issues that we all go through. But a lot of us, we don't know how to communicate that, or we don't know how to open that up to a woman because we've never been taught that skill. That's why it's so important to have coaches like you and coaches like men coaches as well to teach men, hey, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay if you have some issues. That doesn't diminish your worth in masculinity as a man. So that's what I'm saying is that's all I gotta say. Hey, look, you gotta trust your gut. Ladies, trust your gut, trust your intuition, right? Trust your intuition. But all I'm saying, if there's something wrong with your man, or there's something that's inconsistent, just like ask questions, because I do know there's a lot of guys that we just going through something in our life, and we're not used to opening up and telling our emotion. I know girls can do that. You guys can just tell them all your all your emotions to a man. And,
We'll go on for days.
Go on for days. For a lot of guys, it's hard for us to do that, and some guys like they can't do that, and we just hold that in, and we're just dealing with some things on our own as guys, and then you add the pressure of your girl. Like,
yeah, but do you ever say to them, "I need some time," like to myself? That's my question to you.
I need some time to what?
It's like just to work on it. You'd be like, because I know people go through stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you ever say like, okay, I just need a day to myself. I'm gonna talk to you later.
You talking about have guys ever said that?
No, like would you say that to your girl? If say you're going through some stuff, right? Like you are having a really shitty day. Would you tell her, I just need a day, I'll talk to you tomorrow?
I just need a day, I'll talk to you. No.
So you would just like not say anything?
I wouldn't even say anything. I would just be like sometimes you're just going through so much shit in your life that you don't want to say anything. Like you're just powerless. Like you ever gone through something you just want to be left alone?
Yes.
Like, you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it. You just want to be left alone. I'm just saying some cases, like for me back in the past, like when I didn't know how to deal with my feelings, when I didn't know how to like have emotional intelligence to deal with the shit that I was going through in a healthy way. Sometimes when I go through it, like I just don't want to talk. I don't want to talk no more, and I don't want to communicate. And of course, like I just don't. And of course, if it's the girl I'm dating with, if she's going off on me, I don't want to make the situation. I don't want to say something wrong to her because I'm already like going through my own shit. I don't want to say something like I just want her to say whatever it is. I just want the situation to stop. She's yelling at me. Okay, I'll just let her say it, and then as soon as it's over, I can be left alone, so I can start dealing with my own shit. That's just how I see it. I wouldn't even say anything. That's like, okay, just let her say her thing, because at the end of the day, we still love you. Like we still love the woman we love. I'm still with you, but I can't communicate that with you because I don't know how to. So the way I see it is just like let her say what she wants to say, whatever she needs to me. If she wants me to apologize, I'll say apologize. Whatever she needs to. I just want the situation to be over so I can be left alone, because I'm just going through my own shit.
I would hate that. That would drive me insane.
But now, like you said, now that's why it's so important to get coaches. Now, like I will tell her, like you said, like, oh, I'm going through say, like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm just going to do this right now. I didn't respond to you. This is what I'm going through. I'll paint the picture for you, and apologize. Like, and now communication, I'll tell you exactly how I feel, what I'm going through. I probably won't be able to tell you all of it, but I'll tell you so that way you understand, because I do understand you need that. You need that emotional balance from me. Okay, cool. Now she knows what it is. And I'll tell her, and and of course, I'll make sure next time I'll tell her, but now she understands. But I'm telling you, for a lot of it, they can't do that. I'm telling you, for a lot of dudes, especially if they haven't been groomed or they haven't been taught that skill, how to deal with the feelings. And most guys have never been taught how to be emotionally vulnerable, because it's not really in. A lot of them just don't want to deal with it. And when you go off, their mind like, all right.
I don't like going off on people. I really hate. I know.
I'm just saying,
avoid the situation.
Like you said, you're a coach and you have a lot of skills. Like you said, like you're a coach, you have a lot of skills today because you've learned about those skills of things that you didn't learn as a child, right? And how to deal with yourself. And the problem we just talked about right now, right? Most people have zero knowledge about personal growth, zero knowledge about when it comes to communication, zero knowledge regarding all these skills that you have. Yeah. So when you're dealing with the average person, like, they have no skill how to be. Most people, like, I'm sure you have some. We meet people all the time with like zero communication skills, zero awareness, zero boundaries. Like you 100%. See people like, right? So yeah, and that's men and women too. So that's why I love what you're doing. Educated. That's why we need 1 million more crystals in America.
I don't think you guys need that much. I'm a little crazy.
Yeah. We need to, like you said, we need to teach men and women about themselves, love themselves also. But I do understand, like you said, if the guy listen to intuition. I always believe that.
Me too.
Listen to intuition. But the one thing I always say is, before you put a judgment on somebody, I will always take the time and ask. Yeah. If I'm with the girl I like and I love, if I see something about her, I'll ask first. Like, I'll say, hey, you did this thing. Can I ask you, like, why did you do this? I would ask her like in a nice, polite way, and I want to see. And then, because maybe she had a real legitimate reason why. I was like, oh, okay, that's why you did it. Oh, that makes sense. So I feel like communication is key, and always ask why. And then like it's but like listen to intuition, listen to your gut, and be observant, like you said, those behaviors, consistent behaviors over time. But yeah, I just see it nowadays, especially the social media age. Everybody's jumping. They see one thing, everybody jumps to conclusions nowadays. And I feel like the lack of communication, and I feel like because of the conclusions that we develop in our minds, that stops a lot of conversations. Have healthy conversations, because if you have one presumption in your mind, the other guy has another presumption in mind. So you both come into a conversation already with the preconceived notion, like you already set your mind already with how this conversation is going to turn out. So I feel like that happens a lot with a lot of people today. So anything you want to add to that?
No, I don't think so.
So I do want to ask you the question real quick. So you said that, okay, the problem today was people dating multiple people now. Is there a solution to that? So say if there's a girl out there, there's a guy out there, we all know everybody's talking to each other. What is the best way to navigate through that? Of knowing that everybody's talking to multiple people. So how do you navigate through that and still be able to find somebody that you love and you want to commit to? What's the solution to that?
Honestly, I don't think I'm the best person to ask. I don't
No,
know.
I'm interested to hear your opinion. Like what, like did you ever think about it? Like, you know, what, like, okay, I do know everybody's talking to each other. Everybody's talking to each other. So what's the best way to, I guess, to vet out, to kind of the process of elimination, to figure out, okay, this person is not really like that. What's the best? I have my opinion on that, but I'm interested to hear yours.
I feel like just setting boundaries with people when you're starting to get to know them. Like, don't be so. I mean, I'm a very, like, if you meet me type of person, I'm just gonna be very open. I'm gonna be myself, but it's like you kind of have to just keep your guard up and then slowly let it down and get to know them, which I feel like could work, but I don't know. I feel like just setting boundaries with the person that you're like getting into whatever relationship with, and just understanding and just really taking it slow. Taking it slow.
All right, so boundaries and taking it slow. Okay. Oh, that's good. The way I see it today, I feel like the best way today to attract somebody you really want to commit to, especially if you're that type of person that you want to just be with one person. I feel like transparency is so key. I feel like nowadays people are not transparent no more.
Yeah, that they don't say that, hey, I'm talking to you, but I'm also talking to.
Yeah. So I feel like the more transparent you are, not only you're gonna push away the wrong people for you, but you will also attract the right people for you. So, like for you, like you said, like you want to be talking with one person and committed to one person. And if I'm talking to you, I don't want you to talk to nobody else. All right. If that's what you really want and that makes you happy, I feel like it's even if there are guys out there watching this right now, right? You don't want to compete with the other girls. Like you just want her attention. I feel like when you meet that person and maybe you got opportunity to go on the first date or whatever, then I feel like it's so important to be transparent of your intentions of what you want out of the relationship in the beginning, as early as you can. And then I feel like that's the best way to do it, because if you go up to somebody, hey, you know, I like you. That's why we're dating right now. Okay. I mean, that's why you guys are going to go on the first date. Tell them, hey, look, I like you. I'm attracted to you, but I don't have no time to play games, and I want to just a full relationship between me and you. So if you lay it out, and then of course in a nice way, you know, don't be like don't go over demanding like a courtroom, like just tell them, hey, you know, that's why in a nice way, you know, if you're a guy, just like, hey, look, I'm attracted to you. I'm looking for you in a long-term relationship, but I want to be talking directly to you. If you're talking to other guys, I need you to cut that off. If that's why you're looking for, that's what I'm looking for. If that's why you want, let's make this happen. And then if she's not, and I feel like if you're transparent with that, if that person's not looking for one commitment, then she's like, no, I like talking to other guys. Then she's gonna leave. She'll give you no time and attention. So, but that's great. That's only that you didn't waste your time. You one date, but that's it. But I feel like if you're not transparent, you're just like hoping that girl eventually cuts off all the guys for you, or like you, hoping that guy will get the signal, will understand what you want and cut off the girls. I feel like that's the lack of transparency is why a lot of people go into relationships and like spend so much time, and then later on find out later, oh, he will never leave those girls, or he never had the time for you, and you end up wasting time. So I think a lot of people are just afraid of like rejection, because when you're going to be transparent, there are people that won't meet, they won't have the same goals as you or the same intentions as you as far as a relationship, and they're going to reject you. They're like, you know what? And they're just like ghost you. And as long as you're willing to deal with that, but like you said, see that as like experiences. Okay, they ghost you if they ghost you because they didn't see the same eye to eye on what you want. But I do believe that if you keep doing that, then you're eventually going to meet a guy or a girl that really wants to be one person. They don't have time like you. Like, and I don't have energy to deal with all these girls and guys because they want the same thing you want. And if one day you're going to meet them, and now you told them directly, because most people won't tell you their true intentions of what they want. And they'll be like, wait, I want the same thing. You want the same thing. Oh, I finally met a girl that has the same intentions as me, like wants the same relationship. I'm so glad. I'm so happy that she said it, or he said it. And I feel like because of that transparency, now you guys know both what you want out of a relationship. And I feel like in any relationship, like you both have to want the same thing out of it. And the faster you can find that out in the early part of the relationship, as soon as the better. But if it's like going on a ship that there's no captain, and you're just hoping
a ship that will never sail.
It's like you just go on a ship and no one has a destination. You're just sailing and hoping that it's gonna reach the destination, but nobody has set the destination or where this relationship is going. Okay, we still have to learn each other. We still have to learn more about each other to get to know each other. But at least we set the destination that, look, this is gonna be monogamous.
This is where we're going. Yeah.
This is where we're going. This is the boundaries, the rules. There's no talking to other girls. You talk to other guys, and we both are going the same way. But we gotta build this. But I feel like now people, like I said, people are afraid of failure, rejection. People are afraid to communicate no more. A lot of people, like you said, are looking for happiness in somebody else. That the lack of people are just not being transparent no more. And I feel like that's the best solution. Just be transparent, to be honest. Just tell her what you want out of a guy. Girls, tell her what you want out of a guy. Tell her what you want out of a girl. And if she's the one, if she has the same things you're looking for, I'm telling you, she's gonna be like, oh, great. And if she drops you or he drops you, then you know that for a fact, oh, he doesn't have the same values that I do, or what I look for in a relationship. And I'm telling you, you'd be more happy. So the worst thing, you already know, there's like the worst thing is being in a relationship for a long period of time
and finding out
later it's a waste.
Not for me. Yeah.
Time, that's why I always tell people, time is the most valuable resource you have in this world.
You can't buy it back. You can't create more of it.
I don't care about money. Like, I'll spend as much as I can on a girl. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Money comes and goes. I can make money just like that. But time for me is valuable. So I can't waste my time. So with somebody, look, this is where we're going. Are we cool? Are we down? Nope. All right, for sure. My time, I'm getting my time back.
Yeah, no, 100%. I say that to everybody. That's like another reason why I'm like, I don't like temporary people. Like, if you rock with me, we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna bring you to the top with me. There's no stopping that. But yeah, time. I don't like wasting my time. If I'm giving you my time, you better be appreciative of it too. That's another thing. Like, I feel like you can tell, that's like another red flag, that when somebody's really wasting your time, not giving you the attention you want, not just reciprocating the energy. That's when you need to leave. It doesn't matter, guy or girl, just dip, dude.
Yeah. One of the things, I'm sure you probably heard this from your coach also. One of the things people fail to do, and a lot of the things that stops people from succeeding in growth, you're afraid to ask for what you want, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people never ask for what they want. I've seen this so many times. Like, you know what you want, but you will never ask that, not only for yourself, for your own personal success. A lot of people are afraid to ask, but they would never ask that what they want from the other person. So I always tell people, like, it's nothing, like, ask for what you want. I think there was a quote. Somebody said, like, the life that we receive, the life that we live is always the life that we're willing to ask for. Mm-hmm. So if you never ask for the things you want, then don't be surprised if you never get it. So if you never ask for that commitment, for that long-term committed monogamous relationship, then good luck on that.
Don't hope for it to happen. Ask for it to happen.
Ask for it. Like, if you want that monogamous, that exclusiveness between you and that person, and you have to ask for it. But both guys and girls, if you never ask for it, then they'll just play that game with you. But yeah, we've come to the conclusion for our podcast. Okay. The one thing I do want to ask you, because I know the last topic was success. And I know we already covered that already. We talked about mindset. We talked about so many things about success. I do want to ask you real quick. Anybody out there just starting on their success journey, beginner, rookie, have no idea what the hell they're doing, what they're doing, so green. If you had one advice to ask them, one, like I said, give them 3 things they must do. And this 3 things can work for anybody. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter what's happening in your life. Just start on these 3 things and they can kind of like propel you to the right direction.
Keep going. Don't be scared to fail and trust the process. Those 3 things. Because you will fail. Everybody fails. But it's like what I said, what you learn from your failures. Keep going because you're going to want to give up all the freaking time, because I tell myself that too. But just know you're going to have people rooting for you that don't even know you. You inspire people that don't even know you, and you're going to be big. You just have to keep working towards it. No success is built overnight, and just trust the process. It's not about the destination. It's really about how you're getting there.
Okay. All right. Man, that's fire. You guys just got me piped up right now.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I read a lot of books. I listen to podcasts. Mm-hmm. I listen to this church sermon every Sunday, and it really connects with just life now. And I'm just like, dang, everything is just all together, huh? So. Yeah,
I can feel it. I can definitely feel that from you just by not only what you say. You dropped a lot of knowledge today, but also the energy and the vibes you have. So I was excited. I'm very grateful we were able to make this happen. So thank you so much. And like you said, everybody out there, drop some comments below. I'll have her information on the bottom so that way you guys can follow her. Please follow her, check her out, follow her journey. I love what she's doing. Show her love and support to her business. And I'm excited to watch you and observe you and watch you grow and see you at the top, right?
Thank you for having me. It was so great.